hearing the father's story kind of made things a little confusing and a little bit weird. But remember that the grandfather said that one person with a ski mask came from behind and shot and killed JaydaYoungan, right? Now, the father revealed something totally different, and I'm gonna go with his story because he was actually there, as well as being shot along with his son JaydaYoungan. So his father said that it was a black SUV that pulled up in front, you know, I guess 3 guys. In total, it was 5 guys that ambushed him. But it was either 3 or 2 guys that came out of the SUV. And then when him and his son, JaydaYoungan, tried to get away and flee to the back of the house, I'm assuming on the side, to get in like a side door or the back door, they was met by 3 others, or 2, because once again, in total, it was 5. 3 others coming from the backyard to pretty much corner them in. And that's where JaydaYoungan was gunned down, and his father was also shot, but his father survived. If they was both caught at the same time, how was the father able to escape? How was JaydaYoungan shot 8 times? 8 times, I believe, right? Yeah, 8 times. And the father, I think he was only shot 3 times. I don't know, I'm not really sure. Whatever it is, his injuries wasn't life-threatening like JaydaYoungan's. That thing was orchestrated way too professionally for it to be somebody just spotting his car and hopping out and then going to get him. No, and that's not even how it happened. This was planned, this was orchestrated. Whoever knew or did what they did knew that he was going to be there at that specific time.
He said, "Mama," he kissed me on my jaw, my left cheek. He said, "Mama, I love you, but I'm not going to make it."
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now, without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, y'all, it's been years since JaydaYoungan's death happened, but we told y'all that something didn't make sense when it happened, and that's why I played parts of our old video talking about it in the intro. We said that the father was lying or just not telling us the whole truth because his story didn't add up to the grandfather's story when he was asked on the news. That was the first red flag. Not to mention, he claimed that the guys that came and took JaydaYoungan's life all had silencers, and him and Jay was basically ambushed from the front of the house and the back. Basically stating that the guys hopped out of a black truck, chased Jay and his father down, but when they went to run to the back of the house, they were met by more shooters who ended up firing the fatal shots to JaydaYoungan. Now, like I said before, it's something about that story that just don't sound right to me, and on top of that, when his father was doing the interview explaining his side of the story, something just didn't seem genuine. Like, it seemed off. You just get a bad vibe. Now, some of y'all thought I was crazy, and some of y'all agree with me. Here's a few comments from the video we posted when one user would say, quote, "If there's a door on the porch, why would they run towards the back?" The father said it were 5 gunmen and no bullets hit the house. Another user would say, quote, "Blood sacrifice." Another user said, quote, "Clearly I knew the father was lying." And another user would say, quote, "I ain't gonna lie, I think his pops set him up." Now, of course, you have those that disagreed and maybe felt like we were just making things up all for the sake of conspiracy theory. One person would say, quote, "I knew it wouldn't be long before the conspiracies started." Another user would say, quote, "Y'all bloggers never know what y'all talking about. Go do your research." Well, fast forward 4 years later, a mess have unfolded, and it seemed like we may have been right the whole time. It seemed like the people he thought he could trust snaked him behind his back. It just came out that Jay's mother would join the storytime trend on TikTok and decided to tell the world about the day she lost her son due to being shot right outside her house. In the midst of that, She explains that she feels his father may have had something to do with it based on what occurred and what she says went down from her point of view. She also stated that maybe the father was the one that was the target as get back for a strange PDF case that he had. So we're going to get into all that, but we also got more, because after she came out with those allegations exposing the father, JaydaYoungan's baby mother will call herself exposing Jay's mother and says that she allegedly was stealing his money. It's a mess, man. As you can see, it's just one big cluster, and it's starting to look like the parents may have been money hungry, or Jay got caught in his father's BS, who knows. But the money hungry part does sound a little up the alley of stories like this, and in fact, in the comment section of the video we did, one person would say, quote, "Wonder if life insurance was involved." So let's get into it, y'all. But before we do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm. And if you not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it.
Me and Jay had already been up. We had been up all night, all freaking night, because of another situation that happened. I'ma just say it like that. Okay, we didn't even get up to that evening. Well, when Jay's dad came, and everything happened real quickly. Jay's dad came by the house with these two other gentlemen. Well, Jay was gonna pay the guys. Was supposed to be giving them money to do whatever work he was gonna have them do. I don't fucking know. And the money, he had got $8,000 out of the $10,000 band. He left $2,000 sitting on the bed. He had told me he was finna, pay the guys. He was finna holler at his daddy for a minute. Okay.
So just so y'all know what's going on, the father came to her house. Jay wasn't with the father. It's not like, because I seen some people saying, oh, they went out, came back. No, he was in the house the whole time. The father is the one that came to their house with two guys, I guess for an interview or whatever the case may be. She's saying that he got $10,000, took $2,000 out to go pay the two guys, and then wanted to holler at the father outside by himself. All right.
I told my daughter. My daughter was 12 years old at the time. Jay went outside with his dad. All this happened real quickly because Jay wasn't even outside 20 good minutes.
Damn.
Well, I told my daughter, excuse me, someone's calling me through Messenger. I told my daughter to go get the mail out the mailbox. Well, my daughter went. Jay, his father, and the two other gentlemen, all four of them were sitting on the porch. My daughter went out there, got the mail. She came back in the house. When she came back in the house, I met her at the door, was getting ready to walk up the little stairway. Within that brief time, by the time we hit the front room, all I heard was doo 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 doo. And I just looked, and I immediately took out running to the side door. Well, by the time I made it to the side door, my son was already coming through the door. He pushed me against the wall. I hit the wall. He swung over and he said, "Mama, close the door." So I heard him close the door. When I'm locking the door. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And when I turned and looked, all I seen was my son standing there with holes all in his body.
Damn. Now keep in mind, y'all, that she's saying all this happened in less than 20 minutes. So she says that he was in the house, minding his business. The father came. After the father came, he came with two guys. After he came with the two guys, they all went outside together. It was her other daughter, the two guys, the father, and JaydaYoungan. She said it wasn't that long before they was outside and she heard gunshots. And then all she knows is she ran to the side door and seeing him coming through the door with bullet holes in him.
Mother, I lost it. I'm screaming. I'm panicking. And the only thing my son said was, "Mama, just get me to the hospital." We both walked in my room. I'm trying to find my keys. I done emptied my whole purse on the floor. My daughter's in shock. She's standing there screaming to the top of her lungs. He never cried out. He never screamed. He never panicked. said, Mama, get me to the hospital. By this time, I hear a knock at the side door. So I peek around, and it was his dad at the door. Well, when all this happened, his dad had a chick with him. She was in the car. When the shots and everything rung out, she hid on the floor of the car. Well, his dad, the chick, the young lady, and the two other guys, I open the door, they come inside. Jay was leaning against the dresser, standing in my room still. He was like, y'all, get me to the hospital, y'all. I'm screaming because I can't find my keys. I'm like, y'all, we got to get him to the hospital. Well, Jay walked away from my dresser, and then by this time, he just kneeled. He took a knee on the floor. He was like, y'all, come on, get me to the hospital. And he just laid out on the floor. So,
is it just me, or it's like they wasn't in urgency to get him to the hospital? He's pretty much sitting there like, yo, I'm shot. Get me to the hospital. Right? And then they're just sitting there talking amongst each other. I guess she said she was looking for her keys or whatever. But it's to the point to where he's like, yo, get me to the hospital. I need to get to the hospital by any means necessary. But here's the weird part. What's the sense in looking for her keys if she said the father was outside? I mean, if she said the father had his car outside and the girlfriend was already in the car. So they said the girlfriend came inside, but yet they all looking for her keys when they could have just took the father's car. I don't know.
I'm screaming. And I'm going to say this. This is what y'all don't know. And y'all people wonder why I went silent after my son's death. My son laid out on the floor. He's dead weight. I couldn't pick him up by myself. I'm screaming. Please help me. Help me pick my baby up off this floor. I grabbed my son by the legs. His dad was standing there. His dad got shot in the leg. That was it. His dad was...
That's the part I just can't fathom, y'all. Like, it just don't make sense to me. And I see people say, well, the shooters wasn't coming for the father, so that's why he only got shot in the leg. But still, it don't matter. And for y'all that ever been through anything in the street, you know, if people are coming to ambush you, right? It's you and your father or whoever else was out there. They're not just coming to just say, all right, we're just shooting him. And, you know, if they just came out shooting, it's no way in hell. Then they don't know what you got, right? If you with him, they don't know if you maybe got something on you or who knows. But they're definitely shooting, and I doubt that when they're shooting, they just gonna hit you in your leg or whatever the case may be, one shot. I don't know, that always been weird to me. Then they said a group of guys came from the front, they ran to the back, and another group of guys met them as they was coming from the back. Pause. Right? Pause. But y'all know what I mean. Something ain't right.
One of the guys made 2-3 of his dad. He's standing there. The other white man that was with him, he just pacing back and forth. They just stood there and looked at me without a care in the world. Not one of all three of the men helped me pick my boy up off that floor. The young lady that was there with his dad, she grabbed my son under his arms, and I grabbed him by his legs, and we toted my child out that house. We toted him out the house. Not none of them. So that's why I screamed and I told everybody that would listen to me. No one would listen. I feel like it was a setup. Yes, I do. I do. I don't know how one shooter, one person, how what he knew, like in a matter of 15 minutes to come to my house and do all this.
Now, she's saying one person. See, and this is, I always say the only thing that separates a truth from a conspiracy is time. Now, they say that the father, remember the father said it was multiple shooters. It was more than one. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the grandfather said the same thing. But I know for sure the father said it was more than one shooter. She's saying it was only one. And she's also saying that she feel it was a setup because how right after the father come, in a split second, they go outside, they knew exactly when to strike. Something ain't adding up.
Now, I can't say who did what, when, where, nothing. What I can say is that God don't sleep and he sees and knows all. And he says, vengeance is mine. And I know that anybody that had anything to do with this, and whatever happens, they will pay. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but they will pay. We got my baby out there house. We managed to get him on back of one of the dude's truck. By that time, I'm holding my son.
Wait, so it's another car involved. You see what I'm saying? Something, I don't know, y'all, but the man is in there saying, take me to the hospital, and he got a whole bunch of bullets in him. They're waiting for just her keys. But what's the sense in waiting for just her keys when she said the father had a car outside with a girl in it, and then now one of the men also had a car? That's 3 cars that we know about so far. Why nobody say, yo, no, come, we gotta go right now? Why were they all just looking for her keys?
He asked me, said, what car wreck? He asked me what my daughter was. I hadn't already told my daughter to go in the bathroom, lock the door, hide. I don't know what's going on. Somebody gonna try to come back. No, nothing. All this shit happens quickly. He asked me what my daughter was. He said he wanted some water. He was like, Kyra. I said, she in the house, baby. I said, just hang in there. Fight. Just hang in there. I'm holding my child. He still didn't cry out. He looked up at me. He said, Mama. He smiled. He said, Mama. He kissed me on my jaw, my left cheek. He said, Mama, I love you, but I'm not gonna make it.
Damn.
Put yourself in my shoes. For anybody that is a parent active, put yourself in my shoes. How would you feel? You know what I'm saying? And you know, this is not that I normally do, because I ain't got no business. It's gonna be 3 years. I ain't got no business on here crying and doing all this on social media. But hey, I'm gonna get shit off my chest, and y'all will never hear from me again about it. Like, it's done. You know, he is gone. Y'all, he's gone. Let him rest. The ambulance and the police made it there real quickly. They screamed and was telling me to get out the way so they can work on him. I didn't want to let him go. So I had to move. They got him, and when they put him on the stretcher, the words that came out of his mouth, he looked up at the big guy. He said, man, you set me up. Dude went hollering, no. Well, they got him in the ambulance and stuff. I don't even know how I ended up on the ground. I don't even know. It's just a lot was going on.
Alright. So, right then and there, right? If everything transpired regularly, like just regular, then why would he feel the need to look up and ask the big guy, did you set me up? Right? Why would that come to his mind unless he felt like he was set up?
My oldest son made it there. He came grab me. He was like, with my brother. I said they got him in the ambulance. He walked me over to the ambulance, opened the door. Jay was sitting there, just calm. He was just propped up, just sitting there chilling. So y'all said, you all right? You all right? And the last words, the very last words that I heard come out of my son's mouth was, I'm not gonna make it. That was it. Well, we went to the hospital. Of course, there was 1 million people at the hospital. They locked the hospital down. They wouldn't let nobody in there. I'm in the hospital. They wouldn't even let me in the back with him. Thank God, Cody's mom was there. One of the ER nurses that day. She came in there, came out in the waiting area. She was like, Tish, your baby's okay. your baby's okay. He's talking, you know. He wanted to FaceTime you and his baby, but she said, I don't have my phone on me. My biggest thing was I was upset because the whole time, my baby, I felt like he might have even felt like he was in that hospital alone, and I was there, but they wouldn't let me in there.
You know, y'all gonna call me a conspiracy theorist anyway, but I always tell y'all, it's something about those hospitals. I don't care what nobody say. And I always talk about this, especially with the Chicago crowd, because countless of times we hear how many people done went to the hospital. They might have got shot or stabbed, but a lot of people say, well, they were still coherent. You know, they were still talking. They seemed like they was about to be fine. They was good. And then later they get a call, he didn't make it. Right? How is it that he get to the hospital and don't make it? Then when you think back to history and you hear about Martin Luther King, and for y'all that know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, that just goes to prove that a lot of times something don't be right in them hospitals. I don't care what nobody say. Anyway, let's get back to it. Somebody in the comments said they did it because he owned his masters.
Jay lived about 7 hours after that.
Wow.
They had to take him into surgery.
See?
Jay had many shots. He had many shots. Well, the biggest things was the shots to his abdomen area. He had damage to his lungs, to his liver, to his intestines, and they had to get that under control. Well, he made it through surgery. I'm in the waiting area. The surgeon came in to talk to me and let me know about the damage. He said, well, we got that taken care of. He said, but it's the loss of blood. He said, we're giving him blood, but he is oozing, his exact words. He's oozing from everywhere. He said, so, but we got him out of surgery and everything. He said, we getting ready to transfer him up to ICU. We just got to pray that he make it through the night. So I'm like, okay. Well, in the midst of waiting, I don't know who news people and posted that my son was dead. I hadn't even been notified, you know.
See, you see what I'm talking about? And this reminds me of like TMZ when they begin, who's giving these people information? The mother says she was at the hospital herself. She's at the hospital herself. And she had to hear on social media before she can even get the news that her son passed away. Something I don't know. Like I said, something, I don't know if these people are in cahoots with this one, that one. I don't know what's going on, y'all, but something just isn't right. How is this lady in the hospital, his mother? She's waiting on the news, but she hears on social media that he's deceased before she can even get the news. Crazy.
They came back in there and told me my son was gone.
How?
He coded. His blood pressure dropped too low and they couldn't get it back up, and he coded. Now, y'all been wanting to know what happened so badly. So many lies about what happened that day and this, that is sickening. I've never, and it's gonna be 3 years, I've never got on here and I've never spoke about it. Nothing. It has taken me so much
Alright, y'all, that was pretty much it. Now that she said that, it's been 3 years. I think I said 4 earlier, but it been 3 years, right? What made her get online and do it now? I do know that the baby mother recently, some video came out, and I know she was speaking on not releasing JaydaYoungan's music or something like that. But I wonder what prompted the mother to actually get on social media and do this. I know it's hard. My condolences to her, because I don't know what it's like to lose a child. I can't even fathom, can't imagine. And then to also see your kid, crazy. But the baby mother actually spoke on the mother, and and she says that the mother allegedly was stealing money or some type of foul play that was going. I don't know, y'all, but we're gonna get into that next. Y'all check this out.
23 wanted to prove of this disrespect. She disrespected that. Nah, baby, it's cheap out here. That's why she came. No, baby, she needed to get close to them children. What she should have been did, trying to get on these and talk about somebody being a mother. My you should have got a book with some instructions and learn how to be a mother. You out here chasing. You been doing it since Jay and Yada was kids, chasing, running behind. But I'm running behind. I'm a bad mama. Anybody come and say I never was a bad mama? Was I going through depression being a mama? Yes. Was I getting beat on during being a mama? Yes. Was I going through being a mama? Yes. Yes. She gave a check $30K. That she stole $600,000. Over $600,000. You still got more money to give back. You gave back $30K. Okay. What is that? Nothing. That's nothing. Clock it.
So she's saying that basically the mother stole $30,000. I think she's saying that this is after he passed away, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but she's saying that the money was supposed to go to her, and she got caught stealing $600,000, and she only gave $30,000 back. Right? So basically, it seems like JaydaYoungan has some foul parents or just foul people around him, period. If this is all true, and maybe it was a motive behind him losing his life, and that motive seemed like it was money, right? The root of all evil. Because if what the baby mother's saying is true, and the mother actually stole over $600,000 and only paid him back $30,000, maybe him losing his life was in her best interest, so he doesn't have to get any money back. I don't know. I'm not pointing fingers. I don't know if any of this is true. All I'm doing is observing and coming to my own conclusions, y'all. That's it. But honestly, something don't seem right, and I hope the truth actually does come out. Alright, y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'ma keep on dropping. And I'm out.